Hello, and welcome to Rock Your Block, where we highlight individuals who impact our community. I'm your host, Larry Laws. On today's segment of First Home Alliance, we have the honor to highlight an amazing person who is rocking the block in many ways. I admire his technical skills, his leadership qualities, his selfless service to our country, and his genuine character as a father, a husband, and a well-around good person. And his mother agrees. I call him my adopted son. He earned his associate in arts degree and a bachelor's of science degree in supervision and management from Miami-Dade College in Miami, Florida. In May 2011, he entered the United States Air Force and has completed stateside duty assignments in Florida and Georgia. He completed a successful deployment to Kuwait in support of Operation Freedom Sentinel. His military background includes various duties in IT. He has served in the ranks at all levels of increasing responsibility throughout the United States Air Force. Currently, as a technical sergeant in the United States Air Force Reserves, he serves as a knowledge operation technician at the 459th Air Refueling Wing, Joint Base Andrews, Maryland. He works for the federal government full-time, and he serves as president of the Veterans Association of Real Estate Professionals, VA Rep, Northern Virginia Chapter Board. He also serves his skills and shares them as the photographer and videographer with First Home Alliance Productions. Please welcome to our show the Veterans Association of Real Estate Professional, Northern Virginia Chapter President, Julio C. Velezon II. It was hard to get that out.
Yeah,
Julio, well, thank you for coming on to the show today.
Oh, thank you for having me, Larry.
All right.
Always happy to be here.
All right, thank you. And this is your second time on the show.
Yes.
Yes, and I want to say thanks and say hello to your family. Super family person and a community that you have. And so I really appreciate you being the person that you have and having a very good support group there.
And I appreciate you, Larry.
All right, sounds good. Hey, Julio, you had a choice in reference to being in the military and serving and actually living on base housing. So why not base housing?
Well, Larry, so going in the military, a lot of folks, they don't know any better. This is the first time they go into the military. The military kind of takes care of them as a beginning. You have to stay on base, and unless you get married, you cannot leave base. And they do that to protect you from the outside world and, protect you from making the biggest mistake of your life, right? You could be, buying a $500,000 home, right? Or, going underwater and everything. So they always say outside of the base is it's the 2 miles of the worst things you can do in the, and ruin your career with either a car, buying a house, or doing everything like that. Yes. But I got an opportunity to choose to be outside of housing. I did not want to rent. And inside of the military base, they take all of your base housing allowance. So we get that allowance as military every month. And you have to tell them every time that you move up in rank, and they take all that money from you.
Right.
And they include the utilities and everything, but they don't put any money into that. And you're always paying someone else's mortgage the moment that you are renting. And I decided to not fall into that anymore.
Yes, and so you became a first-time homebuyer just a few years ago. Yes. And so, tell me about becoming a first-time homebuyer. When was that?
So it seems like just yesterday. It was about 2018. Purchased my townhome. It was like $400,000 in Springfield, Virginia. So definitely, it was. I got tired of renting and decided that purchasing a townhome will be a lot more beneficial.
Yes, and so since then, and this is your second time here. So since then, not only you made a change, you moved up a little bit.
Yes.
And so a lot of individuals purchase their first home, and that's their forever home.
Yes.
They retire in that home. So what was the thinking about moving from that first home to where you are now?
Well, Larry, I'm always thinking in the future, moving forward, and how can I keep growing? And real estate is one of the best things that you can do in order to have that generational wealth and moving forward. So when I purchased the house, I wasn't timing anything, but it just happened to be COVID happened, right? So I got very fortunate that I was looking forward and I was planning and I was seeing the market. So I managed to get a refinance So I purchased my first home with a VA loan. I managed to refinance from that VA loan to a conventional loan. That freed up my entitlements for my VA loan to purchase a new home. So I was able to purchase a new home while refinancing my current townhome. So in my current townhome, as a conventional loan, I saved $26 on my mortgage, and I'm also keeping low interest rates, right? Therefore freeing up my entitlements for the new home that now I have at a 2.5% interest rate with no PMI and no down payment.
Yes. A lot of, I know you serve in the military, and you also, it seems like you've been around a lot of individuals that's in the community that have actually serving our veterans,
Yes.
that are actually taking care of them and educating the veterans in reference to the home ownership and use, and also investment in real estate.
Yes.
Yes. Now let's talk a little bit about your military career and some of the things that you have done in the military. What are the job? What do you do on duty?
So I'm all about. So in the military, we don't have just one job. So I deal with cyber operations, kind of the squadron there. So we provide kind of assistance in the whole cyber field as we go from you probably started as a communications squadron, right? Essentially now we're kind of dealing with the more cyber, dealing with the threats, and we're streamlining different processes as a knowledge management. Personally, what I do and support to that.
Yes, and another interesting story that I used to like to ask: why did you join?
Yeah, so I did it personally for the healthcare and for schooling, right? So I went in with my associates, but I didn't have enough money for my bachelor's, and I needed something to help me move forward. I definitely also wanted to hurry up and get my degrees so I can become an officer, but I decided not to go that route and stay in the enlisted route.
Okay, super. And so, in serving in the military, and it seemed that you also are able to attend some military functions. What are some of the activities that you do in the celebration while in uniform?
So definitely, I'm a firm believer of taking all you can, and while also giving back, right? So at the end of the military career, they'll give you a firm slap in the butt and tell you thank you for your service, and then go forward in your life. But without doing anything and taking advantage of different opportunities to always better yourself, you're going to miss out on a lot. Mm-hmm. So I always, whether it's leadership skills, anything I can add to my tool belt, whether it's, being the first one to raise their hand and volunteer for the things that no one wants to do, that's what I do. So
yes, we see that, and you have really raised your hand and moved out front,
yes,
doing it, taking those opportunities, and being able to put yourself in some excellent positions. And so, the position you're in now, this is you have so many hats in
yes,
reference to your military career. You're taking care of family, you're in the community, but you serve as the chapter president for VA Rep.
Yes.
And thank you for raising your hand to take on that. Tell me a little bit about VA Rep. What do you do?
So the Veterans Association of Real Estate Professionals, it's something that I never thought I was going to be able to purchase a house, and I really didn't understand that because we hear in the military community, everybody and their mama is a realtor, right? That you hear it. It's like the telephone game. You heard different myths of about the VA loan, and you don't know kind of what's true. So I was able to be in an organization that I learned that I can build my team, right? And I talked to folks that are actually there for military families and veterans. So I was really happy when I got to be introduced to the organization. And I'm not a firm believer. I'm a firm believer of giving back, and anything that I know, I want to share that with people. So I joined the organization because it was great for me, and I believed in the mission, and I want to help further the mission and to help anyone I can.
Yes. Well, you served, you mentioned and going through all the different ranks and positions. Yes. You served as a membership director.
Yes. And
basically increased the membership. And you also have worked on the national level.
Yes.
What do you do on the national level?
So I am the National Legislative Committee kind of point of contact. So we have over 32 chapters for VA Rep across the United States, and we keep growing. So we take those chapters and we divide those. So we support in the legislative advocacy project part of it. So I'm in charge of 5 government affairs directors from 5 different chapters, and we all fight together to push are two big bills, which is one is to become a congressionally chartered VSO, which will allow us to be able to have the Congress backing to go inside the military installations and also inside of the VA hospitals and everything to be an actual viable resource like American Legion or the DAV, the big four veteran service organizations, and also which is important. And then the next one is to have a the VA loan to be a side-by-side comparison to be included whenever you're purchasing a house. Right now, you only have the conventional loan and also the FHA. And then the VA loan is neglected. So they say it's not competitive and that it's not good for the military members, but if they were able to see the interest rate and they could see it compared with the other two, they would not be saying that, and then they would ask the question.
Yes, true. All right, well, thank you for sharing it on a national level. We're going to take a short break, and then I want to talk about something what we're doing here locally. All right?
Sounds good.
We're about to take a short break, but before we go, I would like to remind you, First Home Alliance is a HUD-approved housing counseling agency serving the national capital area. If you are a first-time home buyer or a homeowner in need of mortgage assistance, please visit the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development website to find a HUD-approved agency in your area. We'll be right back after the break. Stay tuned.
With First Home Alliance, a little bit about First Home Alliance. We are a HUD-approved housing counseling agency that was established in 2002 by our executive director, Larry Law. He established the nonprofit. He established it because his mother purchased her first home at the age of 65. And everyone was like, how did you do that? Because her income was really low. And so that's how he found out about the USDA program. And so through the USDA program, his mother was able to purchase her first home. It intrigued him to see how he could help individuals basically experience the American dream of homeownership. So he established the nonprofit. Mission is to increase home ownership to low to moderate income families. And so what does First Home Alliance do?
VA Rep Cares was established to support military and veteran families in times of emergencies and hardships. Every man and woman who has honorably served deserves a place to go when they need a hand up. VA Rep Cares is that place. The Stop, Drop, and Push campaign. In 2013, the United States Department of Veteran Affairs released a study which showed that roughly 22 veterans were dying by suicide per day. Studies have shown a holistic approach using alternative therapies such as existential, transpersonal, animal-assisted, psychotherapy, and play therapy are all important as part of the road to recovery for many veterans. Stop, Drop, Push provides qualified veterans with grants to cover the costs associated to participate in these programs, such as transportation, lodging, meals, and equipment. In special cases, we also provide organizations with gap grants to help implement these programs. The Robert Calloway Housing Grant. This grant is offered to qualified first-time active duty military and veteran home buyers who need a hand up when purchasing a home. Named after U.S. Navy Senior Chief Robert Calloway, a real estate agent and deacon, he was an original VA Repper and served in different posts, including the VA Rep National Board. He is missed, but his legacy lives on. The Military and Veteran Emergency Grant. This grant program assists qualified service members or veterans with critical needs such as overdue bills, rent or mortgage, groceries, auto repairs, insurance, child care, and critical baby items. When the country needed them, our men and women answered the call. Now it is our turn to be their champion. For more information, contact us at info@varepcares.org.
Welcome back. You're watching Rock Your Block. I'm your host, Larry Laws of First Home Alliance. And if you're just now tuning in, we're joined today with VA Rep Northern Virginia Chapter's President, Julio Velezon. Julio, before the break, you were talking about what we was doing, what we, the organization, is doing nationally. I want to talk about what are you doing local? What are you doing local here to help the veterans in the community?
All right, so we're providing financial assistance to veterans in need. You know, I know COVID hit a lot of folks hard. So we have, you know, a flight attendant recently that, you know, was behind on their rental payments for their apartment, and we were able to help them get caught up, which is great. You know, we're also doing a golf tournament upcoming September 8th, which is going to be at Quantico Medal of Honor golf course, in order for us to help us gain funds for those type of assistance. So we're doing a lot.
Yes, you are. And it's good that you're able to benefit some of those local servicemen and veterans here in the community. That is great. And you also mentioned about raising funds so that you actually can do more. And so really want to, there may be some industry professionals out there that maybe want to know how they can get involved in an annual fundraiser like that. How can they get involved?
So definitely go to varep.net, our website, and then you'll be able to check out our chapter and the different local chapters. You can see also all the events that are going across the United States. So it's not just in Virginia, but if they're, you know, listening anywhere else, they can also check it out.
Okay, and you mentioned about benefiting the veterans. What are some of the benefits that the industry professionals can get from a local chapter?
So we also have trainings that are on the VA-REP website when you become a member, and also we do monthly either Zoom and Learns to try to capture the audiences online that can't make it for further across the Northern Virginia area. And we also have in-person, so we have quarterly mixers that we do in order for us to get together and talk about some of the best practices in network. And also we have lunch and learns that we do also when we talk about current things that are happening. And we stay current with things that are affecting the military community, and we also give them the voice. Just because you're in the area and do VA loans doesn't mean you really have your best interest in mind or are familiar with everything that's going on.
Correct. Okay. Well, it sounds good. Sounds good for you educating our industry. That's great to better serve our veterans. Now, and there are some other things that you're doing. You, I understand that you serve also with the American Legion. Yes. And so, what are some of the things that you're doing with the American Legion?
So definitely, we're working on a big project, which is kind of just provide. We're building our kind of the headquarters into a housing complex to be able to house homeless vets in need. So that's our big project that we're kind of doing right now.
Okay, all right. And so you were, I know you was mentioned about the on a national level with the VA rep, and they have two major events. And so can we just elaborate on the next upcoming conference? I think you're going down in Florida. What happens during that convention there?
So definitely, like what happens at our smaller level here in Northern Virginia, we do it at the big level, and we kind of connect with all the different chapters come together. We have good motivational leadership speakers that are military, kind of talk about some experience they experience in the field, and also we learn from our counterparts and figure out what they're doing, so we can take the good and try to build it and make it happen here. Right, that's the best way to do it. Networking is key as we can progress and move forward and find out how we can apply certain best practices into our local area.
Okay. All right, that sounds good. I'm looking forward to that convention.
Yes, October.
Yes, in October. Now, recently we went through the policy conference, and I know you touched on those two policy areas on the paper that we was talking about. Yes. But can you share with some of the highlights of this conference that we just had this year, policy conference, how much difference it was from in the past?
Yeah, definitely. We started early, right? So every year we have a policy conference. We've had it. This year we made sure we had we built the relationships early. Like we talked about, relationships is key, right? So we had an Excel spreadsheet with all the different offices, getting all the emails, phone numbers of each of the members of Congress, their legislative aides. They're the actually ones that run the place. We had over 350 appointments that we were able to hit in 2 days, which was great.
Okay, all right, super. All right, and so I mentioned before that you also do some videography and photography
Yes.
with a number of organizations, but you also have worked with First Home Alliance. They have a major event. Tell me about what work you have done with the annual awards with First Home Alliance.
Yeah, definitely always happy to help out. When it's your passion, you can do it for free. It doesn't matter. And definitely when it's a good cause, for a good cause, I'm always happy to help. First Home Alliance has their symposium, which is great for the community, and also their gala in the evening, which is always fun.
Okay, super. All right. Now, before we cut the evening short this evening, I know you're trying to grow the chapter. That's
Yes.
VA rep in this area. And so if you want to say recruitment message that you can give some of the industry professionals in actually joining the chapter here?
Definitely, if you care about your military community and your family, the families are there, and you really have a passion to serve, definitely come check us out. Right? It means one thing you saying it, but actually putting forth the effort and the action, it actually holds more weight. So you can't talk about it, you gotta be about it.
Right. Okay. And I know there's an opportunity for individuals to serve on the board. They can become members,
Yes.
and they can also serve on the board. Can you just tell us what are some of the board positions that they have here?
Yeah, so our chapter currently has what is called the Power of 8. We have the president, myself, vice president, then we also have membership director, government affairs director, secretary, treasurer, and community outreach.
Okay. All right. Well, super. And so with that, what if maybe a person in the community, and they know a veteran that is in need? Could be emergency rental assistance. They could have a situation where they need help with housing or transportation or something of that sort. How would they contact VA Rep, local chapter, to see if there is an assistance that could be given from the chapter?
So definitely, again, Larry, go to vrep.net. Check out if it's not just Virginia as another area that you're familiar with. See the local chapter. All our information is on the local chapter's website to reach out. There's at the bottom of the website there is an email. You just send an email to that to that at the bottom, that email address, and we'll be able to reach back out.
Okay, all right, super. Well, I want to say thank you for coming in today.
Thank you
for the
having me.
second time
Yes.
coming here and sharing what you're doing with VA Rep, and also sharing the dream of homeownership as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much for having me once again, Larry. Appreciate
Okay.
it.
All right. See you next time.
See you.
All right. I hope you enjoyed this interview with Julio Velezon. It has been an honor and a pleasure to recognize Julio's accomplishment and gain insight on VA Rep Northern Virginia chapter, what they are doing in the community. If you would like more information about the work Julio and VA Rep Northern Virginia chapter is doing, you can visit them on Instagram at VARep_Northern Virginia. Now it's time to check our inbox and see how we can help rock your block. This is where we share a recent question sent to us from you, our viewing audience, about financial stability and housing. Today's question comes from Arlington, Virginia. I have money for down payment on my house, but I don't qualify for a mortgage loan because my credit score is below 550. Well, besides work history and income, the two major barriers to homeownership are credit and down payment. You have tackled the first one, down payment hurdle. Your credit score is nothing more than a reflection of recorded history of your behavior or paying as agreed to previous loan agreements. Changing your behavior can change your credit score. Credit is the ability to borrow money with the promise to repay. You would need credit to purchase your home unless you pay all cash. We can help. First Home Alliance conduct weekly virtual financial literacy classes and provide free one-on-one credit coaching and mentoring to get you on track to good credit. I am Larry Laws of First Home Alliance, and it's been my pleasure sharing with you our mission and highlighting people in our community that are making an impact. If you have questions about financial fitness or how we can help make your dream of homeownership a success, send your question to our inbox at help@firsthomealliance.org. Then tune in next time to our show to see if your question was selected to be shared with our audience. You can easily get more information about our services by visiting us on the website at firsthomealliance.org. You may also follow us on Facebook and other social media platforms. Thank you for watching today's segment of First Home Alliance, and join us next time to rock your block.
Glad to know that, some of this stuff about credit and buying houses is written down somewhere. A lot of the times it's always hearsay, like other friends or family members who have bought houses before, but they can never, tell you legit what you need to get done and do before buying a house.
I definitely think this class should be required for all first home buyers because a lot of times the real estate agent doesn't explain the process to you. So I think this is very important.
It's from the credit up to receiving a loan, and the most important thing is the process that you go through when you're buying the house, and there are a lot of process which you don't have idea about that before you take this class.
Speakers who came up and spoke about each section, they were very knowledgeable in their field, and I felt like it was relatable. They didn't just throw out a whole bunch of terms that went over my head, but they really explained it in a way to where I understood it, and I could even explain it to my children, and it was even easier for me to take home and kind of remember and process and apply to my next steps. The process was amazing.
They start first with the class before even finding a lender or agent. So I did all that and I wasn't able to purchase, and then I was like, oh, you know what, there's a lot of information I'm not aware of. Let me just start from the beginning, put everything on hold. Start from the
piecing the information together, because you've heard things about the loans and about this and about the credit, but this is like a summary, and it just gives a clear flow of where to go with what you have and kind of building up a plan. So that kind of gives me a whole picture of where I needed to go and how to get there.